Everyone knows that exercising has health benefits like improving heart health and blood pressure. Playing a sport builds the ability for a person to work as a contributing member to a team. Being a part of a team also creates strong bonds between athletes and establishes lifelong friendships that can act as a support system. Exercise also releases endorphins that help the mind refresh itself and cope with stress. Many athletes compete simply because they love to compete. Love of competition can sometimes be taken too far by either the coach or athlete. Despite all of the benefits to working out, there is a point where the risks of exercise overpower the benefits. Are athletes aware of the risks of overexercising?
I think exercise is a great way to burn some energy and relieve some stress. I think it's a great way for people to stay in shape and maintain a healthy lifestyle. As a college athlete, I swim here at SLU, and I feel like we are pushed a lot in the weight room and in the pool, and sometimes we overwork ourselves, and that can cause us to hurt ourselves, but we are always told to keep going and push through. So I do think over-exercising is negative. Sometimes when exercising, my shoulder might hurt me or my knee hurts, and as college athletes, we're pressured to do our best, so sometimes we push off those injuries, which isn't the best thing. So with exercising, people need to be careful with their body and make sure they're paying attention to when their body is telling them something's wrong.
I think regular exercise is beneficial for all college students, whether they are athletes or not. I think that over-exercising is at a different level for everyone because everyone's at different fitness levels, but I do believe that everyone has one point where overtraining does become an issue.
Of course, the majority of Americans aren't pushing themselves nearly hard enough, failing to meet the government's exercise recommendations: 150 minutes a week of moderate activity or 75 minutes of vigorous exercise. More than 1 million Americans fall into the extreme end of the exercise spectrum, competing in marathons or ultramarathons of 40 or 50 miles in length, or participating in other high-endurance events such as Olympic-length triathlons.
Although exercise is known to have positive psychological effects, there are negative effects as well. According to research done by C.B. Taylor, J.F. Salas, and R. Needle in Public Health Journal, reports that addictiveness to exercise, compulsiveness, decreased involvement in job, marriage, self-confidence, overcompetitiveness, fatigue, exercise deprivation, overavoidance of problems, preoccupation with body image, and greater odds of developing anorexia nervosa are all effects of overexercise. Anorexia nervosa is an eating disorder where a person forms a distorted body image and refuses to eat or maintain what is seen as a normal body weight, according to helpguide.org.
Do you think you've ever experienced any negative effects of over-exercising?
I definitely have, especially during high school when I was training with the Olympic goalie. We trained twice a day, and each session was 3 to 4 hours. And this was during the school year, and I couldn't sleep as well. And trying to study, you weren't able to focus, and I got really irritable.
I'd been playing volleyball since I was in kindergarten year-round, and I just got so burnt out from playing it year-round 24/7 that I just couldn't take it anymore.
Go away. Go on vacation. Get away from each other. Spend time with your families. Enjoy your friends. We want our kids ready and excited about playing football. We don't want them tired of playing football because, we want to play 11, 12, 13, 14 games. So it's going to be a long year. If they're coming in with the attitude where they're already tired, that just plays on it that much longer.
When athletes are pushed too far, they can develop overtraining syndrome. It is important to be able to identify the signs in order to stop the advancement of the syndrome as soon as possible. The 5 most common or standard signs of a body that has reached its physical limit are a change in the circulation system, specifically an increase in resting morning heart rate, followed by weight loss, which is followed by excessive thirst, alteration of sleep patterns, and finally mood swings.
How much training is too much? It's a question often is asked with elite athletes. My name is Glenn Vergy from Vergy Conditioning and Health. I want to talk to you today about overtraining. It's very, very important that if your goal is to play at the highest level of your sport, You've got to take care of your body, take care of your health. And overtraining doesn't allow you to do that. I want to give you a story that an athlete shared with me when he returned from his trip to Europe. This young man had the chance of a lifetime. He got invited to try out with the Real Madrid Youth Academy, which is one of the best soccer academies in the world. And when he went over there, he learned a ton of valuable information, learned a lot. He came back a better player, better athlete. But one valuable thing that he told me, he shared with me, was that he only trained in Madrid 4 sessions a week, and each session was 90 minutes in length. That's it. 4 hour-and-a-half sessions a week. His weekly program when he was training in Calgary was 14 sessions a week on average, sometimes 12, sometimes 16. So you're looking at least 20 plus hours a week versus the 6 hours a week he was getting while in Madrid. Now that screams quality versus quantity.
What we classify as overuse injuries, just because kids are practicing and participating in their sport year-round, and we're finding more and more that the younger kids really need either time off or need to participate in other activities than one single sport.
Overexercising can influence the body in both long-term and short-term ways physiologically. When you go out and exercise hard, a healthy heart will pump 4 or 5 times as much blood as when you're sitting. Evidence suggests that too much prolonged exertion over time can do irreversible damage. Also, an excess of cortisol, a stress hormone, can be released, which not only contributes to catabolism, but also to chronic disease. You can also develop microscopic tears in your muscle fibers, tendons, and ligaments, which may fail to heal if you continue overexercising and increase risk for injury. Your immune system can also be weakened. And a variety of heart issues are associated with overexercise. Those include coronary artery calcification, diastolic dysfunction, and large artery wall stiffening. As the graph shows, the benefits of exercise peaks with an hour to 2.5 hours at slow pace 3 times or fewer a week. The jogging athlete increases their risk of death to exceed that of a non-jogger if they do too much fast-paced running 4 times or more a week.
A concussion is a traumatic injury to soft tissue, usually the brain, as a result of a violent blow, shaking, or spinning to the head. Many people believe that you lose consciousness, but it is not always the case. There are many ways to spot a concussion, however. Warning signs of concussion are immediate but temporary impairment of brain functions, such as thinking, vision, equilibrium, memory, and consciousness. A concussion can cause irritability, nausea, slurred speech, fatigue, dizziness, sensitivity to light and noise, and sleep disturbances. If you notice any of these things after someone was hit hard, keep an eye on them and have a health professional check them out. Precautions you can take include wearing protective gear during sports and other types of exercise. Buckle your seatbelt to reduce whiplash and avoid harsh contacts when exercising. It is important to know how you can get a concussion and what symptoms there are, because in some cases they can be fatal if not treated properly. Also, once someone has had a concussion, they are more likely to suffer from an additional one, and this creates higher risk for permanent damage to the brain.
In fall of sophomore year, during a spring AU showcase in front of college coaches, and I made the mistake of thinking I was okay and going back into the game and not only finishing that first game, but playing the whole next 2 games that day because I felt the pressure of my team and my coach.
After analyzing the effects of overexercising, it is important to remember that not all exercising is bad. That being said, it is also important to recognize the signs of overtraining onset so that injury, both psychological and physiological, can be minimized.
Credits: Nicole, psychological information, recognition to interviewing the 2 girls, video, and pictures. Hannah, overtraining syndrome, recognition to getting the videos and pictures. Megan, physical information, recognition to having the iMovie on her computer, interviews, and pictures. Mary, concussion information, recognition to pictures and audio. General recognition to Google Images for photos not self-taken. General recognition to YouTube for our videos that were not self-recorded.